World is getting colder, trying to get sober. Lord help me get stronger. World is on my shoulder.
Today we are at the 12 and 12 podcast, and this is the podcast about real life, real recovery, real redemption, growth and development, because that's what that's about. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please tap the subscribe button, share for more. And we are sponsored by First Step Recovery. If you need any help with your substance abuse problem, if you know anybody that needs help, please reach out to them. The numbers across the screen, and they'll be happy to help you. Great turnaround, great program that help a lot of people out, man. Stop that addiction and find hope to be able to move forward in life. We have a special guest today, Adam.
Thank you for having me. It's a blessing and a pleasure to be here on this podcast. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, so we're gonna get into a little day about what you've been through in life. You know, your testimony, because you came a long way. You came a long way. Tell me a little bit about yourself. When did you start using? What age were you?
Man, what age was I? Man, I was 8 years old.
8? Sheesh, you was young, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I thought the port young.
Yeah, man. If you're from Louisville, Kentucky, my first drink and the first substance I ever used was in the same day. My whole life, I've always done not just one thing. I've always done multiple things. You know, I just didn't do alcohol. I also smoked pot. So, Building 19 in Iroquois Projects facing the street. New Year's Eve, 8 years old, keg party at my uncle's. It's the first time I had a drink. I went to the keg. I thought I was sneaky. I was gonna pour me one. Oh. And my cousin came over, my third cousin. He's like, "Thank you for pouring me one. Now get your own."
Oh,
so I was like, "Oh, it's acceptable. I can do this, and I'm gonna get away with it." So I got drunk, and my uncle smoked weed. He had this pipe. Can't remember whose face it was on it, but it was a pipe that he smoked his weed out of. He's like, "Here, try this."
Oh, dang, for real?
Yeah, I smoked weed and drank them at 8 years old.
Now your uncle gave it to you?
Yeah, my uncle and my third cousin and all his friends and everybody else.
Well, after that, it kind of like became a roller coaster ride.
Man, after that, like,
so your first thing was
alcohol and weed.
Yeah. At the same time.
Same time.
Jeez, you was toe up from the floor up.
Yeah, I was 8 years old, man. I was running out of the bedroom. Happy New Year.
Dang, that's wild.
Me and all my cousins and everything, it was something else, man. And then whenever they had parties, like, they always had us to go get their beers for them out of the fridge. So whenever I got the empty one, they always left a little bit at the bottom. So I was just sneaking and.
So at 8 years old, started your journey. How many times could you say that you stopped throughout life? Was it a lot of times, or was it just consistent since you've been 8 years old to now?
Like, I probably stopped.
Besides
for
going to
brief
jail.
Periods of times, maybe for a job or something.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got that job, I started right back up.
Okay, so really it's just been
I quit smoking weed to get this job. You know, but I've always worked in the kitchen a lot of times, so they don't drug test in the kitchen.
So you kind of leaned towards jobs that didn't have to drug test.
Yeah, man, because I can do what I want. You know, I worked in the kitchen for many years, probably about 20 plus years. I've been a chef, been prep cooks, you name it in the kitchen, I've done it. I worked for mental hospital, Central State here in Louisville.
Have you ever lived anywhere else outside of Louisville?
Oh, yeah. I'm not originally from Louisville. I was originally born in New Jersey. My mom and dad are military.
Okay.
You know, and I was born right outside of Fort Dix Military Base in Jersey, in Cherry Hill, Burlington, New Jersey. And my mom and dad got kicked out of the military because they used. They're one of us.
So it was a family issue, kind of.
Yeah, the whole side of my mom's family, everybody that I've ever met on my mom's side did one thing or another. On my dad's side, not so much, but my mom's side was full blown, everybody.
Yeah.
You know, but my mom's originally from here, so that when they got discharged from the military, we moved back to Louisville.
Okay.
You know, but I've also lived in North Carolina, Maryland. I've been in multiple different counties here in Kentucky.
Oh, so you've been bouncing around.
Yeah, I've been to 7 different elementary schools.
Dang. Oh, you was traveling.
Everywhere in Louisville, everywhere in Kentucky. There was only one in North Carolina that I went to. It wasn't that long either. We moved out there because my dad got a job at this old, it was kind of like Lowe's. It was called HQ, Home Quarters. It was kind of like Lowe's. We moved out there, and then my mom and dad got in an argument one time. My mom packed all of us up in this little BS Nova and drove back here to Louisville, and we broke down right outside Louisville's limits. My mom was a big drinker, big time drinker.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Dang, man. Did your mom pass away? Is she still here?
My mom was murdered when I was in the 5th grade.
Wow, sorry to hear that.
I found her in my bedroom. She was murdered with my Swiss Army knife. I found her. My mom and dad was split up at the time. You know, my mom had another boyfriend and everything. And, you know, when that happened, I didn't know how to, because I was so young, I didn't know how to deal with my thoughts and my emotions. And I let that dictate my actions. I would go to school, get into fights, because back then there was your mama jokes. You say, your mama, I'm a dorky white kid. You ain't going to think I'm going to fight you, but I'm going to fight you. I had these big old Coke bottle glasses, bro. And I had this extreme comb over that I always did. And my hair was real wavy. Man, you've been like, damn, you're a nerd. But I also wasn't raised in like the best of neighborhoods.
Yeah.
It was always low income base, you know, in the hood, the ghettos and projects. And
Dang, so the effect that your mom had on when you found it, did they ever catch the person who did it?
yeah, I had to go to court and point them out and everything.
Oh, man.
Like, I don't know what happened to him. Like, some people told me that, like, he died in jail, but I don't know. I never really tried to look for him. So.
Yeah, just kind of left it at that. It's too much.
Yeah, because that kind of motivated me to use, because I didn't want to feel that pain or that anger anymore, so I used to cover it up. What I didn't know is I was building something up that was going to turn against me, right? Because came to a weekend thing, and I smoked pot all the time. Yeah. I smoked so much pot, man, I'm surprised. It ain't coming through my blood, you know, but because I used to smoke so much.
But you're trying to just cope with the pain of you losing your mom in that way?
Yeah, I was trying to cope with it the best way I knew. And the best way I knew, being that young, with my dad being an absent father at the time, you know, because my dad was trying to deal with what he was going through. And he didn't know how to deal with what he was going through. Because he told me that my mom was the love of his life, even though they were split up. And he told me they were planning on getting back together when this all happened. You know, I was rebellious. I almost got expelled from school every single year in middle school. You know, I dropped out of high school. They kicked me out of high school because they told me my attendance was so low. They asked me why did I even come. Wow. And I went to Central High School. I had to write an essay to get in there because it wasn't my home school.
So your father became absent. Well, was he in your life more when your mom was alive, or did he become absent like really after she died?
Like, my dad would come pick us up and everything for the weekends, you know, and do stuff with us when my mom was alive. And then when my mom was dead, he came dependent on the heavy drugs himself. So he was there, but he wasn't, you know. So I had to pick up the slack from him at the house. I had to grow up fast, you know. My house was a skip house. You know, if you wanted to skip school, I know how to break in houses because I broke in my own. You know, wait till my dad was gone to come back home, you know, and everybody would come over. But man, you know, I always wanted to be the cool kid. I always wanted to be accepted by somebody because I felt empty inside.
You were missing, you had that void. The mom, right? She wasn't there. So.
Yeah, so I was trying to fill it, but anything I could, you know. Friends that really weren't my friends, they were just around because, you know, I had a place for them to go to skip school at, or, you know, when I got older, it's because I had the bag. You know, I was always trying to feel something, and I didn't know what was missing until I got into recovery.
Didn't got in recovery?
Yeah.
Okay. Around what year did you start, around how old were you when you started to do your recovery? Or started actually trying to change from what you were going through?
In 2019, I got I got hit with a bunch of felonies because my brother's girlfriend called the cops on me because they told me, you can't sell drugs in the house. So my best thinking was, oh, okay, I can't sell drugs in the house, so I'm going to sell them out of your shed. Crazy, right?
What?
Crazy. My best thinking.
You didn't stipulate what you said. You said the house, but hey, you didn't say nothing about the shed, bro.
You didn't say nothing about the shed or the yard. So passing bags over the fence, through the fence, come knock on the shed, So she called the cops on me, and they kicked in the door on me, and they caught me with like 15 felonies or something like that. They locked me up. Everybody that was there locked up. And they denied me everything in court except for treatment.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I said, hey, what about treatment? And I was like, hold on, I'll be right back with you. And so they sent me to Centerstone, which used to be known as JDEC, which is now is just 7 counties. I just went in there for all the wrong reasons, man. I was going there.
7 counties is a treatment center?
Yeah. I went in there, the rocket docket, and was there for all the wrong reasons because I was there because of the court. I wasn't there for myself or to work on myself. Even though when I was in there, I was talking a big game. Oh, I'm going to do this, that, and the other. And
you really weren't ready to change at the time?
No, man. It's because of the court. Because I was obligated by the court to go. So I went through there, went to this transitional living called the Safety Net that they had, a program that they had orchestrated with the Healing Place. And I got me a job, and then I got a phone, talking to them assorted friends that really weren't my friends. Went around them and to show off my sobriety. And next thing you know, I was hitting the chicken bone again, 10 and 2. It was nuts. And
because you weren't strong enough to go back to around that environment.
No, man, I didn't.
Triggered you real fast, didn't it?
Real fast, bro. They say, you want this? Yep, give it to me.
Oh, you already knew that. See, right there. You already know it wasn't your friend at that point in time. I want y'all people to know this here. Listen, if people are offering you drugs and things like that, they really do not care about you at all. I'm here to tell you that straight front and center. They don't care about your well-being. It's not good for you, especially if you already went through recovery and recovered, and then if they offer it to you, and then it all goes down to this. At the end of the day, when the person is on drugs, they're selfish. You're naturally just selfish because the only thing you really care about is getting your next hit, your next fix, and things like that.
Oh, yeah, man. I was more worried about me than anybody else. I would use you to get what I needed, but I wasn't ready to go around this stuff, but I wanted to show off my sobriety and everything else. And then I didn't go back for curfew, right? So they graduated me early. And I relapsed. They graduated me early. I was like, okay, fine. I'm going back to the trap. And then I go to court, high as hell, missed my court date, but my public defender got me back on the docket and got everything dismissed. It took me 4 years to get back into the rooms.
Damn.
Because I was running on self. So I want what I want when I want it.
So when is the time that you just sat back and said, you know what? It's not just about the court anymore. It's not just about me catching a felony. It's just, you know what? I'm really going to do this today. I'm really going to start making this change today. When was that turning point in your life?
It was I got locked up in July 1st of 22 in Carroll County. Spent 4 months in there, and then I manipulated my way to get out of there, right? I was making all these lies up and stuck to the same lie for 4 months. And I walked all the way down I-71 to get back to Louisville, right? And the whole time I was in there, I was doing these crack sticks, which is taking the e-cigarettes and smoking the filters and doing e-snorts. And it was like, oh, bro, you're going back out. As soon as you leave, you're going to use again. I was like, nah, I'm done with that life, man. I'm done. I'm over with, right? When Carroll County gave me my first felony. But when I got back down to Louisville, I walked down I-71. It took me all day to get back down to Louisville. Yeah. I was shaking so bad, convulsions and everything, and I went to the hospital. They pumped me full of fluids and sent me on my way. I got a taxi back down to my dad's, down the South End, down off of Dresden, off of Taylor and Dresden. And everybody was saying, "Oh, Opie's dead. Oh, this happened to Opie," because I never wanted you to know who I really was, so I used a nickname. I didn't want you to know who I was, because I don't even know who I was, not without one in me. You know, so when I went to my old car wash job and got my job back, but I was using within that hour, hanging with a rig right on my arm. You know, my dad told me, "You need a sponsor, right?" I was like, okay, I get a sponsor. He's like, "I know somebody." I met my sponsor that's still my sponsor today. But once he gave me my number and we talked about why I used, came up with every single excuse why not to call this man. And I've known this man for many years. I knew him before he got sober, but I just didn't know he was sober. And my dad told me, "Well, you need to go to treatment or you ain't staying here." I was like, man. See, I talked about getting sober, but I was scared to get sober. The fear of the unknown kept me out of there because I didn't know who I was without one in me. I used for 30 years. I didn't come into sobriety until I was 38 years old.
Dang, so you was at
To really do it.
Yeah. So you was at a point that you was like, I don't know who I am, what I got going on in life, no future, basically no hope, just drug, that's it.
Drugs
and
running
just
the
trying to run the
streets,
streets and
bandos, you know. What was really crazy is when I was out there in the madness, I was paying rent and somebody still stayed at a bando because I couldn't do drugs there or sell drugs. So I'll stay at a bando with the assorted friends and females, you know, because I felt
accepted.
I felt accepted. I felt a part of something, right? Because I never felt a part of anything because I was really shy, insecure about myself and everything else. But when I finally went to rehab, right, in October the 21st of 22, I went to the VOA, Volunteers in America, and I went in there with a bag because I still had some on me. So I'm not going to flush this down the toilet. I'm not going to get rid of this. I'm going to do this, all right? And I snuck a bag in there. I was still getting high. And I was so high on my mind that first night that I dropped the bag in the hallway. And it's like, is that odd or is that God, right? I used to hate all of them sayings too. Odd is a God, and you know. But now that it makes sense to me, now that I got 2.5 years sober, right? And I dropped that bag and somebody found it, you know. And then they searched my stuff again, and you know, I was sleeping all the time. And when the staff member came in there, he's like, "It's easy to do time, ain't it?" I was like, "What'd you say?" He said, "It's easy to do time, ain't it? Because I can do time. Because I was sleeping it away. But to live life is a whole lot different than just sleeping your life away and not existing. Because that's what I did for 30 years. I didn't even really exist. At least the real me wasn't.
You had to find yourself.
Man, I had to redefine myself. Because I always did this, that, and the other for this, that, and the other. You know, because I always depended on something to make me feel some type of way. You know, I didn't know how to deal with my thoughts, my emotions, and that always dictate how I did my day. And today, I don't let my thoughts and my emotions control what I do today.
You had to deal with that trauma that started from way back then. And
oh man, I went through therapy and everything, man.
So it's definitely been a work in process.
Oh yeah, because I've seen my uncle die from liver cancer, my mom, best friends. Even in sobriety, I've had friends that OD'd and passed away, and I'm like, man, it hurts so bad that they didn't stick around in sobriety, and they go back out and put one more in them.
That'll be their last one. I tell people all the time, listen, when you find someone who cares for you or is a real friends care for you. They want to see you do better in life. You know, a lot of times, a lot of people get into situations and surround themselves by people that they know that it's not their friend, but they just like the fact of being accepted some way or another, or feel accepted. Like, you know what, you accepted me for who I am at this point in time. But if they're a real friend and they see you at a down point, they're gonna want to see you come up.
Yeah.
You know, especially if they're doing well and that's your friend, and they see you're not doing well like they're doing well, they're gonna want to see. A friend is going to want to see you do better, be in a better position, be in a place where you got your life together. You're not using. You know what I'm saying? You don't got a car. They're gonna want to see you work your way up to a car. They do. A real friend does not want to see, someone who cares for you do not want to see you just down. They want to see you with a place to stay, a roof over your head. They want to see you with a family. They want to see these things, especially if they already have it. Now, if they don't have it and y'all still going up and y'all moving together to try to make something happen, friends, loved ones, whoever it is, then they're going to want to see the positive in you. You know, I hold people accountable all the time. Let's just say something simple, like if it's a diet regimen or something. Hey man, you say you're not gonna eat this here? Well, dang, bro. Then you just say you weren't gonna eat this? Dang, then you say you weren't gonna do this?
Yeah.
You know, it could just be something simple. So if you're something with drugs, I'm definitely gonna be on your head about that. Like, yo, what the heck are you doing, bro? Is you crazy? What do you got going on? And I'm gonna just be the person to just be real blunt with you, cause I don't believe with it. I don't believe in, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, listen, no. We're grown. You got to take accountability, because you know what? If you don't do it this way, the government's not gonna play with you. They do not care anything. Governments do not care anything.
All right, you don't want to do this? We got a cell for you.
We got a cell for you right
with
there.
your name on it.
Yep, right there. We don't care about it. And if you don't act right in here, we got another cell inside of the cell for you that you could be there by yourself and you could chill out in the box. You know.
We got that nice little turtle suit for you if you like hurting yourself. Man, I've been in those.
Yep. Hey, I'm telling you.
I've been in those turtle suits, bro, and it ain't no joke, man.
Yeah, if you don't know what the turtle suit is, the turtle suit is if you locked up, you say you're gonna commit suicide or hurt yourself, or you try to hurt yourself, they get you naked, they put on like a thick vest on you, and they put you in a freezing cold room, and no mats, no nothing. You just in there, and that's where you're gonna be at until the psych evaluation allows you to get ready to get up.
And
out
they just
of
give
there,
you sandwiches wrapped in. You might get plastic. You might just get a plain sandwich.
Yeah.
Because they ain't giving you no type of silver or nothing.
No utensils, not anything. You just locked in that room, and that's where you are 24 hours a day until they evaluate you, and they're like, okay, you're not a risk to yourself anymore. We're gonna give you a chance to let you out.
Yeah, and when I came into recovery, man, like when he said that to me, it's easy to do time. Man, I started getting to work, man. I started putting the work in, man. And like when I was putting in the work, I found out since I signed myself out of Carroll County, I missed a court date and I had a bail jumping warrant out on me. Man, I was about to run, bro. Because I was like, oh my God, what's going on, you know? And one of the staff members, he's like, chill out, Adam, chill out. Let's work through this. I'm like, bro, I'm about to go. He's like, no, calm down. Let's go talk to the director and blah, blah, blah. Went and talked to the director, got my public defender on the phone. We set up a court date, you know, and I went and got my court date and, you know, got my first felony from there, but, you know, then I just had to pay court fines and everything. And they gave me, instead of giving me 10 years like they wanted to, they gave me 3 years supervised probation with 4 years on the shelf. Cause that's a blessing, bro. Like in them small counties, they're going to get you too. Like I'm still on probation right now, but in December I'll be off of it. A lot of people turn in their work hours and everything and get time off. I've been doing mine day for day because I need that accountability. Because I walked out probation multiple different times, unsupervised. But man, if I gotta go there and show my face and they gotta see what I'm look like, I need that in my life.
Yeah.
You know, and in 3 months, I completed my 12 steps and was speaking and wanting to sponsor people. You know, because I was like so anxious to get back and do this. My sponsor told me, he's like, hold your horses there, bub. He's like, you know how to get high, don't you? He's like, yeah. He's like, you know how to sell drugs, don't you? He's like, yeah. He's like, do you know how to stay sober? He stopped me in my tracks. I was like, you got me there, bro, because I only got 3 months sober. You know, I'm still a baby in it at this time. You know, and then I started taking some grief counseling and everything to get my mental back. And, you know, I used to work out all the time, but I'm so busy now going to school, work, sponsees.
No, yeah, what you going to school for now?
I'm going to school to get my bachelor's in social work so I can be a CADC, which is a certified alcohol and drug counselor.
Nice. So now you went from that place of hopelessness to hope. You want to help give other people that hope too.
And yeah, and what's really funny is everybody told me when I moved back down to the South End, oh, bro, you need to move away from the South End, man. That's where you all did a lot of dirt at. I was like, no matter where I go, I take me with me. You know, I'm a hope. They used to always say, man, you're a hope shot. Man, I just do what I need to do because I don't want to go back to that lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And if I mess up, man, I'm going to do them 4 years in Carroll County. Mm-hmm. Carroll County ain't no joke. You think LMDC is something? Go to Carroll County. Think the food's nasty down there? Go to Carroll County. They don't got Zabos down there. I put the next right foot forward. Even though, you know, we was talking before this and we was talking about karma and all that stuff, you know, even though my life is better today, life still shows up and smacks me in the face and I don't like it.
Yeah, hey, life gonna happen.
Like today, one of my buddies tells me, we work a perfect program imperfectly because we are not perfect. I'm gonna mess up. Now what I do off of the back of that mess up, that's what really matters. You know, because I'm self-aware of my actions can turn into a whole lot more and conspire and control if I don't control it.
Yeah, so you know how to deal with your emotions. You know how you took the therapy, and then you changed everything that you. Once you had that change of outlook on yourself, you know, you got that change of outlook on your life. It's a perception of the way you look at things now. Now it's if a situation happens and it gets bad, I'm not gonna go and use now because I already know how that goes. I already been there and tried that, so now I gotta try something different. What's that difference? When situations get hard, when I start stressing or going through whatever, I'm not gonna go use. I'm not gonna go drink. I'm not gonna go do all these things that I used to always do to do it. And that's what it's about.
When I was out there in the streets, I would never talk about what I was going through. I ain't gonna let you know that I'm hurting because you think I'm vulnerable while I'm weak. But today, I reach out and talk to anybody about what I'm going through. Because if I hold that shit in, it's just gonna fester up and eat me alive from the inside out, right?
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm gonna use off of the back of it. Because if I don't manage my stress, if I don't manage my emotions, and if I don't manage my thoughts, those can turn into my old behaviors again.
Yeah, I think that's a problem with a lot of people, and a problem with a lot of men these days. You know, they feel like they can't really express themselves, or how somebody might look at them as, yo, I'm soft, this, that. Listen, we human beings. Men got feelings too. It's straight up like that, man. Like they're just meant in society. You gotta be the man, so you just gotta hide the way you feel. Listen, find somebody to talk to. Find somebody, you know what I'm saying, get your therapist or come and get some counseling.
That was the hardest thing for me to do, bro. Is to talk to somebody else about what I'm going through. No. Because I'm military, right? Yeah. You don't express your emotions. Yeah. You don't talk about what's going on with you. You know, we hold on.
Yeah, you put yourself, actually, when you do that, you put yourself in a vulnerable state for a person to use the way you feel against you. And a lot of people, what happens is, I realize they tell a lot of the wrong people certain situations that happen with them, and then when they tell the wrong people, those people throw it back up in their face and be like, well, you remember, and at some argument, it could be a disagreement, but people will throw it up in your face to try to hurt you, try to bring you down, and be like, yo, well, that's why this happened, or that's why this, or you used to do that, throw the past up in your face. And what happens is, once that happens, person loses trust to be able to tell anybody anything, but like, yo, you know what? Why am I even gonna tell anybody? I was in a relationship with this person, and then I told them this, they threw it back up in my face. I'm not gonna say anything about this anymore.
Like, I used to be ashamed of this. Like, when I first came into recovery, I found out that I had syphilis, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, man, I didn't want nobody to talk about it. Now I'm talking about it on a platform, right? Because, you know, it's okay, because, like, I was a man whore, man. I sleep with any woman that would sleep with me. You know, and when you have unprotected sex, you're going to get an STD or something. And also, when I came in, I found out that I had hepatitis B and cirrhosis of the liver. So I got one thing after another piling down on me early in recovery. Like, and today I take medicine for it every day. You know, because if I don't take medicine for it, it's just going to get worse. Right? Just like with my disease of alcoholism. Like back in the day, I used to argue with people about this being a disease. It's a disease of the mind. It's because my mind's fucked up, right? You know, I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. You know, I seen a best friend of mine when I was living in Maryland get his brains shot out because he selling some bad dope. You know, because they don't play up there. You know, and like I've done, you name it, I've done it. Drug-wise, I've done it. You name what you did to get one, I've done it. You know, I would sleep on, I would go to this woman's house and have sex with her just for me to have a place to live. You know, because I needed somewhere to go. If I didn't have it back, I know I can do a little something with a woman so I can get me somewhere to go. So I ain't staying outside or breaking into a bando somewhere, you know. But
You like you said earlier, use and manipulate, do whatever you need to do just to get by.
yeah, and I apply. See, I went hard out in them streets to get what I wanted, right? So I do that in my recovery. I know what I want, so I'm going to get it by any means necessary. No matter what I got to do in order to stay sober, I got to do it. Even if I don't like it, even if I don't want to. Some days, you know, because I work in recovery, I don't let my recovery be my recovery. I don't let my work recovery be my recovery when I leave work. Because you got to keep them separate, right? Because I was told a long time ago, don't let your work interfere with your personal life. Right? When you let them intermingle, then you're going to get stuff messed up.
Yeah, you're gonna get burnt out.
Yeah, and I ain't doing that, bro. Like, I'm going to college and everything. Like, I got a lot of stress, but it's okay.
You're dealing with it good.
Yeah, man. I mean, my girlfriend opened up a new can of worms with me, right? Because I got her a PlayStation 5 for Christmas. She got me to start playing it. Say, I'm a big gamer back in the day. Like, Final Fantasy, like, I would sit there and play all day and get high. And, you know, but today, you know, I use that as a coping skill to get away from stuff. You know, because I get lost in that game, you know, and the worries and the stresses go away, you know. But I got to also watch out for that because I'm also can get addicted to it, right? Because if you spend too much time on the game system, you neglect your life. It can be an addiction. Anything can be an addiction.
Yeah, anything.
These energy drinks that I drink all the time, you know, but these help mellow me out. Right? Because if I don't drink these, my leg will be shaking like this. But
see, so it's not. It's where you put that energy at. You can put that energy at doing something bad, or you can put that energy at doing something good, or whatever, just to take your mind off of the old way. And that's what people have to realize. Just don't have an idle mind. Do something productive at least. Something. There's life out there beside you. Listen, you can have fun without doing drugs. You can have fun without getting high. You can have fun without getting drunk. You know what I'm saying? So once you learn how to do these things without having to have a substance behind it to push you, then things get a lot easier. Man, it's a good thing you done turned your life around. You done did a lot of good things, man. And I'm happy that you was able to come and share your story, complete turnaround. And a lot of you could go out there and turn your life around today. Do not hesitate, do not wait, because it might be your last time. It might be your last chance. This might be your last calling. So Adam, is there anything else you want to say to the people?
Man, if you're suffering in a hopeless state of mind like I was, you know, run the streets trying to get one more, but you don't know where to go. Man, it's right in front of you. Man, these recovery centers popping up all over the place. Reach out for help. Don't be shy. Don't be ashamed to reach out and ask for help. It's not a handout, it's a hand up. You know, we're only here to help. We only want to see people do good. You know, and sometimes I can get restless and irritable, discontent, you know, with things, but I gotta check myself. If you want something out of your life, just turn around and go the other way. Don't go to them drugs. Don't go to the dope man, because they don't give about you, bro. And because all they do is want that money. Why are you making them rich for when you keep on getting poorer?
They don't care nothing about you, but you got people out there who do care about you. Just want you to know that. Reach out if you need help today. Thank you, Adam, for coming in, man, and telling us a story, man, hopping on the podcast. And this is the 12 at 12 podcast, and remember, stay shining bright in this dark world. Don't be using, and surround yourself. Key thing he was talking about in there, who you surround yourself by is so important. You don't have to be accepted by people who don't really care for you. You know if they really care for you, because they want the best for you. Just like we want the best for you here. And if you need to reach out to First Step Recovery. They'll be happy to help you. Love you all. Have a blessed day.